So I'm John Quelch, and I am professor here at the School of Business Administration at the University of Miami. I'm also the dean of the business school, and I'm also the vice provost for executive education at the university. In the role of dean, it's principally that of a coaching and cheerleading role. Most universities operate on a shared governance system whereby the leadership is really leading from behind rather than leading from the front. The leader, the dean, is really in a servant leader mode where the essence of the role is to serve the interests of the institution and of the faculty and staff and students in the institution. So while there is a terrific institutional building agenda associated with the role, it's institution building that has to be grounded in consensus rather than based on the preferences of the person in charge. So there's a high level of accountability. There's a high level of responsibility, but it's in the context of a shared governance environment. The executive director of the vice provost of executive education role is slightly different in as much as that's a university-wide role that is really aimed at increasing the opportunities for cross-disciplinary engagement with people outside of the current student body. The reason I say that is because we're redefining executive education to mean more than business executives. From a business school point of view, of course, the principal customers of executive education are business people. But if you extend the concept of executive education to include, for example, doctors who have graduated from medical school who are developing a taste for hospital administration, or teachers graduating from the education school who need to be trained in administration and leadership for school systems. The term executive education can sound a little bit too business-oriented. So we're really focused on what I would describe as continuous education rather than executive education or lifelong learning, which also has a certain connotation of what can you learn when you're in your older years rather than a continuous commitment to improving and upgrading your knowledge and your skill set, which is where I think the word continuous education takes on an appropriate meaning.
Okay.
So initially my principal focus is in the business school because that, if you will, is up and running and therefore has to meet a budget and meet performance objectives and deliver on its mission every day. Mm-hmm. As I indicated, the executive education role is something new to the U. There has been no one previously in this position, and so there is a certain white space opportunity associated with it, and I expect to delve more deeply into that arena after my first year in the business school. I think the school is extremely good, especially with respect to its current commitment to research and its current commitment to teaching. Typically, rankings lag reality, and accordingly, the school, in my mind, is ranked lower than its quality would suggest it should be ranked. Therefore, part of the mission is to tell the story to appropriate constituencies of where the school actually is at the moment and how good it is, and to perhaps advertise the school's capabilities and the capabilities of its faculty a little bit more aggressively than has previously been the case. So that is really to bring the public perception in line with the reality. But the current reality is also insufficient relative to where we need to be. So we have moved over perhaps a 10-year period from being a largely regional institution to being a more international institution. That journey has to be cemented. In other words, we will be moving the school to a level of excellence and perceived excellence on the international level as well as the national level. So while we will still be embedded in the Miami community, which is of course essential to our success, we will be seeking to be viewed as an excellent school around the world rather than just around this region. So excellence, of course, is in the eye of the beholder, and different people have different concepts of what excellence is. But fundamentally, we are here to serve the interests of students and also to serve the interests of recruiters who recruit the students. So the students are, in some sense, not the customer, but the product of our efforts. And the students, as products of our efforts, are what attract the recruiters to come here. Assuming a student is well trained and receives an outstanding job opportunity, over the years that student will hopefully develop a sense of loyalty to the university and give back to the university in many ways. And that giving back then fuels the resource base that can fund the recruitment of the next generation of outstanding faculty and outstanding students. So the student excellence plays off and contributes to the faculty excellence. Excellent students want to learn from excellent faculty, and even freshman undergraduates in many cases pay a lot of attention before they decide where to go to college, pay a lot of attention to who they're going to be studying with in terms of the quality of the faculty. From the faculty member's point of view, the faculty member does not want to teach a group of students who are disinterested and unengaged. And so our ability to recruit outstanding faculty depends on our ability to recruit outstanding students, and vice versa. The two go hand in hand. So what that says is that in the final analysis, excellence in teaching is very important to excellence in research, and excellence in research is very important to excellence in teaching. If you are an excellent teacher, you will tease out a tremendous amount of creativity and new ideas from your students, which should help to inform your research. And of course, more obviously, perhaps, if you are doing outstanding research, that research will excite and interest your students and push them to higher levels of achievement.